Hey besties. I know I literally haven't posted, God, I don't even know how long. It's definitely been over a year on here. A lot's happened, but before I get into that, Waffle House. What Waffle House order do you guys get? Because I get the same thing literally every time. Also, there's a car. I'm at the riverfront. I'll show you guys. It's very beautiful. I'm just trying to get out of the house because I don't really have space to film at home. So here I am, but I also have to get over my fear of recording myself in public because that shit freaks me out. It's a little chilly out here today. Let me zip my jacket. I got a sausage hash brown bowl with gravy. It usually comes with egg, but I don't really like egg that much. I have to be in a certain mood for it. Let's take a bite. There's a person sitting in front of me in a car over there. And I'm feeling shame. But I'm trying to get out of that because if I want to actually do this as a job, I have to be able to break out of my comfort zone. 2025 was a long ass year. Every year of my life, I feel like goes by so quickly. But 2025 felt like it was 5 years fucking long. And maybe it's just the events that went down. Maybe it's because I literally moved 4 times, and we're gonna move again this year because my mom's buying a house. But I know I told literally like everyone online that I left my husband. And I kind of gave like a brief description why, but for some reason I felt like I owed him like common courtesy not to just air out everything online. But as someone who has done a lot of growing this year, if you don't want people to know what you did, don't do it. And honestly, if the things that I say about things that people did to me upset the people that did them to me, I honestly don't care. And, you know, if you have a, well, you did this story, it's probably because it was reactive. Retaliation. I wouldn't consider myself a bad person. I would say that I've said bad things. I've done bad things. But I am a phenomenal partner. I care the most. I saw issues in our relationship right after we got married, and I still stayed for 4 years. I mean, we were married for almost 3, but we were together for almost 3 years. And he wasn't abusive to me, but he was very neglectful. And I was just really fucking lonely. And no one talks about how lonely it is to be in a marriage and basically just have a roommate, not a husband. Except he didn't clean up after himself, and if I asked him to cook, he threw a fit. But, so I left in May of 2025. In November of 2023, him and I got a girlfriend. And things were okay for a while. And then they weren't. And they were toxic and low-key verbally abusive. And I hate to say that about her because she got me through some of the toughest times with him. And if she would have never came around, I would have never left him. If she wouldn't have broken up with us, I would have never left him. Because I wanted to go with her rather than stay with him because I would rather go with someone who was verbally abusive to me than be with someone who's neglectful. And I literally love her, but she really fucked me up. And I know that she has her own issues, but I need to realize that just because she's mentally ill does not it doesn't change the fact that she said the things she said, and she did the things that she did. But like, I did that. So in the beginning of the year, I worked at an okay job. I made about $16 an hour, doing medical assisting, and I hated it, but it was a job, and it paid the bills. Because if he didn't make enough money and I didn't make enough money, I had to figure out where the bill money came from. He never paid the bills. He didn't even know how to pay the bills. He didn't know how much the bills were. None of it. It was like not a partnership, like at all. At all. It was literally like having a roommate and being in charge of that roommate. And it's just awful. But in March, I fell asleep while I was driving. I was at a stoplight, maybe 10 miles an hour. Because I wasn't sleeping well. I was having lots of nightmares. This was before I left him. I was on my way to work and I rear-ended someone, and it was a Jeep, and they had one of the tires on the back of their car. Their car wasn't damaged at all. My car, however, totaled. And I was like, okay. So I took out a loan, $1,000, to get it fixed before I knew it was totaled. And they were like, we're not fixing that shit. So I had to get a brand new car. My baby. It's dirty as fuck. But I tried to put down a $500 deposit for this thing, and they were like, no, we don't need it. So I got that loan for no reason. But I had obviously other things that I needed it for because we were poor. I am poor. We're still poor. But yeah. Our partner was like, I'm leaving. I can't be here anymore. I miss my family. She wasn't happy, and I totally supported her. I knew that she was gonna leave. I was just waiting for when she finally said enough was enough, because I lived in that relationship 3 years longer than she did. So I understand that it's difficult, and I can be a difficult partner, but I'm not. I don't even know how to explain it. I just have a lot of issues, but I'm not abusive. I'm not neglectful. I'm just really fucking sad. And she didn't get that. I'm not gonna go into detail about it because, as I said, I do love her, even though she really fucked me up. I have nightmares about her literally like every night. And she wasn't ever physically abusive, but that's not the point. But in May, we ended up moving back to where she's from in Wisconsin. And we found a house, and it was so good. Everything was good. I found a job. I got paid $17 an hour. And things were awesome until they weren't. And I finally started to really take in the fact that my whole life had changed. I met that man when I was 17, and we were together until I was 22. I still am 22. We were together until I was 21. I'm 22 now. And this was my life. And he was a very jealous person, and he did not support me at all. He didn't care about anything that I had set my mind to, because I'm the type of person, I pick up hobbies and then I drop them, and it's fine. I know how to do literally everything, craft wise. But instead of supporting me, he would be like, well, I know you're just gonna bore of it in a little while. So I never accomplished any of my dreams. That's why I stopped filming for YouTube. That's why I stopped doing my TikTok. That's why I stopped doing my art, because this man did not give a shit about me or any of my dreams. He didn't believe in me. And I don't really think that she did either. But here's to proving both of you wrong. I doubt either of you are watching this video, like I said. But if you are, I'm sorry, I guess. feel like I need to talk about it. And people should hear it. So that if someone else feels this way, they won't feel so alone. Because when I moved to Wisconsin, it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was finally peaceful. But it was also lonely. Because someone who I considered my best friend was splitting on me every other day, was being verbally abusive, and whenever I would be like, hey, that's not cool, she'd just be like, I'm sorry, just my mental illness. And she never really took accountability for that, and she never tried to change it. She can say that she did all she wants, but I have voice recordings of her screaming at me, telling me that no wonder my dad left me, and nobody likes me, and I do this and that and whatever. But it got to a point where she was, I had fucking cut my finger open. I have a scar. I sliced the tip of my finger off, and I had to get stitches, so I had to miss a couple days of work. And she had to work like an 11-hour shift. I don't fucking know. But the next day, she was supposed to work again, and she was like, can you cover my shift? I was like, no, it's been 2 days since I cut my finger open. It fucking hurts. And she blew up on me, and she was telling me how disgusting I am because my room was cluttered. Not dirty, because I keep all the trash in a trash bag. I don't just throw trash on the floor. I have depression. I'm not disgusting. Yeah, there's clothes everywhere. There's some craft supplies everywhere. There's yarn everywhere. Like, why the fuck does it matter? It's in my room, not out in the house. And she was just saying how disgusting I was, and that she could call the landlord and get me kicked out. We didn't even have an official lease. So he just kind of didn't even give us a key. He literally gave us the code to the box to the house, and that was it. We didn't even pay a security deposit. We paid, I think, $750 for rent, which I paid the first month of, and I'm pretty sure I paid the second month of. But like, I love that house. It was very nice. My room was a mess. And yes, I didn't do the dishes all the time. And sometimes I forgot to scoop the litter box. I will own up to that. But I never deserved the way that she blew up at me just because I wouldn't work her shift. Literally, I wouldn't work her shift, and then she fucking cornered me in my room. When I asked her, can you get out of my room? She said no. When I asked, well, can I get out of my room? She literally cornered me into my bedroom so I could not leave. And that shit scares me. I'm literally crying, asking for her to leave, and she doesn't. And so I start screaming, and she still doesn't. So I laid on my bed while she sat there and verbally abused me for well over 30, 45 minutes. And she's like, well, I'm going to get you kicked out. And I was like, go for it. And then she was like, get out. And I was like, no. She was like, you have 30 days to get out, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm not leaving. I literally pay rent to live here. And I texted my mom and I was like, hey, if I needed to come home, will you come get me? And my mom was like, absolutely. And I had a car, but I couldn't get all my stuff because I had bought more stuff whenever I lived there. I left basically all my stuff behind at my ex-husband's house, and I put what I could in storage, but I couldn't get a very big storage unit. So all my furniture and everything was left at my ex's house. And, the day passed and she was like, I'm sorry, like she always does. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But the next day, I'm taking her to work. And she brings up again, like in a joking manner, which I didn't find fucking funny, how she could get me kicked out if she wanted to. So I dropped her off at work. I went home, I texted my mom, said, come get me this weekend. And I left that weekend because how are you going to threaten the roof over my head? And then she talking about, well, I'm going to be homeless this, I'm going to be homeless that. And, it's not my responsibility to fucking take care of your grown ass. In this relationship, both of the relationships that I had, I was taking care of them. I was driving them everywhere. I was feeding them, like, genuinely. Like, it's just, I don't know how I can love someone but also hate them at the same time. I hate that it got to that point because she was my best friend. But I moved back home, and my mom has 7 kids, by the way, living with her. 2-bedroom house and a family room. My mom's bedroom is the family room. Made a little nook for myself in the laundry room so that I would have some space, by myself, that I could have space where everyone else wasn't. And honestly, that didn't fucking work either. But my little brother moved out and moved in with his girlfriend. And I took his bed so I share a room with my brother Steven, who is in a lot of my TikToks or on my Instagram. And honestly, I'm so glad that this happened because we've gotten closer and he's my best friend. And we used to not be very nice to each other. It's cold. I'm shivering, but I'm finishing this video. And I'm very grateful every day that I have a bed now. But the longer that I live with my parents and I don't have my own space, the more lonely I feel. I don't know how to explain it. It's quite isolating. But I moved back home and I got a job at Insomnia Cookie, and that was a really fun job, but I didn't get paid that much. I don't get paid much at the job I do now, but I like this job. And I liked working at Insomnia Cookie, but literally it was just so repetitive, and having to go work at one job and working at another job right after was exhausting. And she only scheduled me 3 hours a day, and I worked maybe once or twice a week. So I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. And now I work 4 days a week, and I'm about to be manager of the store, which I don't know how long that's going to happen because my mom's about to buy a new house and I'm going to be moving hella far away. Not hella far, like an hour and a half, but I don't know how that's going down, but we'll figure it out. So many good things have happened to me this year. In October, I downloaded Hinge again because I had it when I first moved home, and I wasn't planning on dating. I just wanted to know what was out there. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to have fun. So I went to a club a couple of times, and that was fun, and I met people there, and my phone was blowing up, but I still felt lonely. I still felt like none of these people really got me, and I ghosted all of them. A lot of the men that I talked to ghosted me. And then I ghosted the rest or I just flat out denied them. They were like, hey, and I'm like, no, I just got out of a marriage. Like, I'm still married technically. But in October, my now boyfriend slid into my DMs on Hinge, asking about my non-monogamy. And if that was like a rule breaker for me. And I was like, no, like, I can have a monogamous relationship. I'm just poly. Like, I can love more than one person at a time, but that's if I choose to. And it just kind of went on from there. And we literally have been connected like this since. And being in a healthy relationship is really fucking triggering. And people don't talk about how lonely it feels to get out of a relationship with someone who didn't give a fuck about you. And now being in a relationship with someone who adores you. Because I am so scared that it'll end, and I know that it won't because this man adores me and he treats me so well, but I'm like waiting for something bad to happen, and I hate that. And he's teaching me how to be loved properly, and how to let someone take care of me, and how to let someone love me. And he makes me so happy. And I'm so glad that I met him. And recently, my TikTok has been doing well, and my spicy page has been doing well, and I want to start posting on YouTube, and like things are finally coming together for me, and I don't know why it's triggering. I'm like waiting for it to fucking fuck up, I guess. I'm not even eating at this point. I love my job, I love my boyfriend, I love my family, even though they make me crazy. I want my own room so bad, and I know it'll happen because my mom's about to buy a house. And I have already got so many amazing things planned for this year. And I am so sad. But I'm also so happy. And it's such a conflicting feeling, being mentally ill and happy at the same time, because some days I don't want to exist, and other days I'm glad that I do. My childhood cat died on Christmas, and that was a really shitty end of my shitty year. And I know that this year will be so much better. And I know that people on TikTok are like, story time. So this is what I'll give you. I am really hopeful for this year. More hopeful than I've ever been. Because if I wouldn't have met my ex-girlfriend, and I wouldn't have went through the things that I did, I would still be with that man. I never had the strength to do it by myself. And now I am so much stronger. I am so much pickier when it comes to people. I don't take anybody's shit, okay? Literally, like, I'm way stronger than I ever was. I'm way bitchier than I ever was. I stand up for what I believe in, and I stand up for myself. I don't let people walk all over me anymore, and it's really terrifying having to stand up to people because I'm really scared of conflict. But I am determined to have a good year. I'm determined to meet good people. I'm determined to be treated well, as we all should be. Nobody deserves to feel like they don't matter, especially in their marriage, especially in their relationships, especially to their family. It doesn't matter. Nobody deserves to feel like they don't matter. And if you're watching this, this is the end of the video. I want you to know that you matter, and I love you. Because I feel like people don't hear that enough. I didn't. So, I'll leave this video to you guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me what other content you like to see. Do you like me just yapping at the camera? Subscribe if you want. Like the video. I'm not eating the rest of this. I'm sick to my stomach after talking about all that. But, bye!